Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're having a good weekend so far, and welcome to this new middle of the day market update. There's not a huge amount of movement today in the markets. There is some movement though, and we'll talk about that. But just wanted to prepare you a little bit for next week and the rest of the weekend as well. So we'll take a look at Bitcoin. We'll take a brief look at the fundamentals if you missed my Bitcoin video this morning. Very quickly, but alright. We'll talk about some news next week. Next week is packed with some major news, and just in general, it's also going to be interesting to see how the situation in the Middle East develops, which is quite likely we'll at least get some sort of development on that next week. So in general, that's what I wanted to prepare you for. Now, if my neck seems a little bit stiff, like I'm looking down quite a bit, I injured my neck a little bit in the gym today, so it's a little bit hurtful, but it's okay. But then at least you know why I'm looking down quite a bit. But no, it's going to be a big week. It's going to be very volatile, so I'll try my best to prepare you for that. And tomorrow, there's not going to be a middle of the day market update. I'm planning to do a video kind of talking about the best altcoins at this point of time, really focusing on that for when the markets get more bullish, that you kind of know which altcoins to focus on. But we'll briefly talk about the best altcoins today as well in this video. Now, to get into Bitcoin and to get into the crypto markets today, looking at the fundamentals, they have closed quite bullish last week. Right, Russell 2000 is up a bit, Nasdaq and S&P 500 are also up. S&P 500 trying to get those all-time highs again. And then if you look at the total altcoin market, it's kind of consolidating here, but it got a nice retest here at the trend line. So we'll have to see how that develops, but for now that's actually better than I expected on Thursday and Friday last week. And then the dollar strength index is still very bullish, and that's going to be very interesting to see how that develops next week, because next week we have some major economic data. On Wednesday we have the FOMC minutes. That's going to be interesting, but that Thursday is going to be very, very volatile. Because what you see Thursday, and you do need to be prepared for this, is that we not only have initial jobless claims numbers, which we always have, but we also have the CPI and inflation rate data, all right? And we need to see some sort of a lower than expected reading, I'd say, to actually get a rejection for the dollar strength index, which is going to be bullish for crypto. So be prepared for that. And then on Friday we have the PPI, but that's usually less impactful. So in general, I think you need to be prepared for that. And then outside of that, looking at Bitcoin at this point of time, I've said this countless times now, but we got a nice bounce from 60,000 now. But now we need to see some sort of a reclaim above 62,500 to actually stabilize and get a little bit more bullish. And on the short term, especially since it looks like the volume is going to drop down quite a bit, it's now 18.8 billion. It's probably going to be 15 billion tomorrow. And that in combination with all the liquidity that's down here. Look, there's a lot of liquidity down here at 59,600 probably. That doesn't necessarily mean we'll hit that. But in general, there is a lot of volatility all the way like in this entire level, right? So you should be prepared for some sort of a spike down. You should be prepared for just in general a bigger drop down if we get some sort of an escalation again, but most of you know that. But some sort of a, from this level, from the strong resistance level, I do think we'll at least get one sort of liquidity grab before getting the opportunity to actually get a bullish breakout. So looking at the fundamentals, a bullish breakout under the current circumstances does look most likely, but especially when the week is opening, so tomorrow evening, for example, you should be careful and you should be aware of some sort of a pullback liquidity grab first. But that's what you need to know for Bitcoin and fundamentals. Talking about altcoins, I mean, today is relatively quiet. You have coins like Saga. I still think that's interesting, but it's just consolidating here. So there's not much you can say about that. Meme coins are also quiet. I think Pendle, if it's able to break above 3.9, I think that's an interesting candidate for a trade. WorldCoin was quite bullish, but now also found resistance here around $2. So just in general, there's not a ton to trade at this moment, which is obvious, and that's normal in the weekend. You have some reclaim setup. So for example, on Kaspa, if that's able to break back above 15 cents, I think that's a great candidate. I think Celestia, Aptos, Sui, and Sei are still good cryptos to trade, but I wouldn't trade those in the weekends. Like Aptos, maybe a retest here on this level at 8.5. Technically great trade. Would I take it on the weekend? On such a weekend as well? Probably not. Phantom also, if it's able to break above 63 or 64 cents here, then it can also reclaim back into this range right here. So there's some potential upside as well. So there are opportunities, but so far the weekend is relatively quiet, and just in general in these circumstances where there is still quite a lot of uncertainty, I would be careful, all right? And I would be a little bit hesitant with taking trades on those. But those are some coins I still think are interesting. Like I said, tomorrow I'll make some sort of a bigger video on what coins to focus on when the market gets more bullish. But that's it for now, all right? So have a great rest of your weekend. Take care. Make sure you are well rested for next week. And I will see you all in my next videos. Bye.